Hello guys and welcome back to this channel. This is Isaac News. I'm your host Edikan Obot. Today on Isaac News, we're going to be looking at Enugu State and its recent declaration as being part of the oil producing states in Nigeria. So if you're in Nigeria or you know a little about Nigeria, you know that the core, what you call the core Niger Delta state will be Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Edo, Rivers, Cross River State, um, Delta states, Imo states, some I'm not so good with it, but so this will be what you call your core called Niger Delta state. Then we have some other states producing oil like Ogun State. Recently, Kaduna State was also included in oil producing state. Lagos State produces oil too, but it's not regarded as an oil producing state. Just little amount of oil scattered across the western part of the country and some of the northern and north central parts of the country. So from early times where oil exploration was found in Nigeria, as far back as between 1937 and 1938, when Shell Petroleum Company was granted oil exploration license in Nigeria, and the first oil exploration in Nigeria actually happened in Bayelsa State, in a community called Oloi Birini. I know I've murdered and I've butchered that name, but from then on till later in 1958, when the first oil shipment left Nigeria to Europe, that would be the between the 1950, just close to 1960, we got independence, and then in the 1970s we had our oil boom, where there was oil, so much oil and money trickling to the Nigerian economy, and things were so good and so palatable with the discovery of oil. Oil has also been at the center of a lot of our national development, infrastructural development. It may have also contributed to the civil war. Being that a lot of people on the southern region felt that okay, we're the cash cow of the country, but yet it was primarily dominated by the north. Oil has brought good and bad and all sorts of things to the country. And in recent times, with this current administration in power, and with the 13% oil derivation, a lot of states have tried their best to push to be regarded as an oil producing state due to the enormous economic benefits that they stand to gain as being part of, as being included as an oil producing state. So recently, the presidency disclosed that over 600 billion naira was being shared by, was being shared by the oil producing states. So this is over 600 billion naira, was the 13% oil derivation subsidy that was gotten just in 2 years. And this 600 billion was floating around about 9 states. So about 9 states in the country were sharing over 600 billion naira because they were regarded as oil producing states. And a chunk of that money was taken by oil giants like my state, Akwa Ibom State, another oil giant like Delta State, a very big oil giant. You mentioned to know that Akwa Ibom has actually taken more money from oil and as regarding allocation than any other state in Nigeria. Okay, so Akwa Ibom is song. All right, so like I said, all producing states we included like Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Delta, Edo, Imo, Abia, Cross River, So ordinarily, as regards this video, Enugu State should have naturally joined this league a long time ago. Being that it has been producing oil for quite some time now. When states like Kogi State and Anambra State were being included as oil producing states, which oil was discovered or explored much recently from this state. So like I said, Enugu State, Kogi State, Anambra State, oil was recently explored in these regions, but Kogi and Anambra were being included as oil producing state, and Enugu was left out of this league of oil producing states, and this deprived the state from its 13% derivation since oil was explored in Enugu State. So the governor of Enugu State really fought hard to ensure that it is being included as an oil producing state, and this has been approved by the president of this country, President Muhammadu Buhari. So this is good news for the people, for the good people of Enugu State. They will now be enjoying their 13%. The government will be enjoying its 13% of the reservation. But then there's a catch for the citizenry, okay? So as you know, I hope you do, the PIP Act, the Petroleum PIA, pardon me, PIA, the Petroleum Industrial Act, okay? Part of the act states that any community where oil is being explored from is entitled to 3% of the total oil exploration from that community. So oil exploration is going on in my state. A modular refinery is being built in my community. So right now, there is no legal extraction of oil from my community. But from what's going on right now, from next year, the place should be up and running. So oil exploration should begin next year in my place, that is my village, Gogo. So I want to use myself as an example. So let's presume that in Okobodi, in Ete, Ikoro government, sometime next year, okay, by the end of next year, when they are taking into account the amount of oil that has been explored from my community, okay, let's presume that it would it would be up to the tune of let's just give it 1 trillion naira. Oil is powerful, it can generate that amount of money in 6 months. Let's say 1 trillion naira worth of crude oil has been explored from my village. 3% of that money will come back to the village. Now listen clearly, 3% of 1 trillion is not 3k or 30k. That's huge money. That's big money. That money will come back to the citizenry of that place. That is part of the benefit of signing the PIA Act. Secondly, every oil company would be involved in community service in a community where it's located. Building things like schools, building roads, building infrastructure, building boreholes, building healthcare centers, placing indigenous of that community on scholarships to study all sorts of courses abroad and within the country. A lot must be done by the company exploring oil from that place. Okay, so this is where the indigenous of the village stand to benefit from the 3% derivation and from other things being put in place to ensure that you get maximum benefit from having oil being explored from your community. So the good people of Enugu State will begin to enjoy more from what they're currently enjoying from producing oil, which will be their 13% derivation. And as an oil producing state itself, your allocation will be increased. Why? Because you are actively generating money into the federation account. So a state like Akwa Ibom has a low internally generated revenue, but has a high allocation. Why? Because it is an oil giant. A state like Rivers has fairly reasonable internal generated revenue. State like Delta has, it's okay. Cross River has some, but I can see our internally generated revenue is not high, but our allocation is very high because we produce a lot of oil. So as an oil producing state, you even have a stake in the national cake that is being dispensed, okay, pardon me, by the Federation Allocation Account Committee, that is FAAAC. These are the people who started with the task of sharing money monthly to the different states. Okay, a state like Lagos has a lot of money coming to it, not because of oil, but because of what it is pushing into the federal government coffers. So the federal government in turn sends a lot of money to Lagos, but yet still Lagos allocation is maybe 2/3 Akwa Ibom's money allocation, but it can survive on that money because of the amount of internally generated revenue that Lagos, can do. So it doesn't need a lot of money from outside sources. It will interest you to know that Lagos state government on its own funded the Lagos Blue Line that has been commissioned. Lagos state government, without the involvement of the federal government, the built and commissioned the rail line. Beautiful, amazing. But then back to Enugu and back to the operating state, there's a lot that will stand, that Enugu stands to gain from this, and we are very happy and thankful for the president and for the governor for pushing for this and for justice being served when necessary. So this is the end of this video. I'm very happy to share this with you. I hope you enjoy what you heard and listened to today. Please like, share, subscribe, and engage us in the comment section. But till we see again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.